Me one mic, everybody's got excuses, but you got one life to live, one life to give, one moment, one opportunity. Boy, that's it, and it's all said and done. When the going gets tough and the tough gets going, you just go ahead and run. Cause opinions are like assholes, everybody has one. They're being constructive or they jealous of the outcome. It's not about the times you fail, it's about the times you got up. And I don't even care what the fuck your excuses is. Fact is, you just playing the cards of foolishness. What you think I'm dubious, you gotta get up, get going and just move on. Don't look towards the past, you gotta groove on. You procrastinating now, you gotta get that motivation. I already created a track called Inspiration. Gotta get up, get going and get fucking hype. Go.
What is going on, wrestling fans? It is your boy Justin JLB, and welcome to WTN Wrestling Talk. Now it is Thursday. Thursday means it's the rundown, and boy, do we have a lot of stuff to run down. So without further ado, let me introduce to you, it's WTN co-host of the year, Kid Crazy Jesse James.
What's happening, boys? This has been an eventful week in wrestling. So much shit to talk about. So let's do this.
So much shit. It's smelling. Woo! But so I guess we'll just go with the big news, or do you want to start with the ROH and the NXT?
No, we could keep the format and go with breaking news, because I know a lot of people want to hear about this, our opinions on all this Mandy Rose story. So let's do it.
Oh, yeah. So that's it. So for those of you who watched NXT on Tuesday, you had saw that Mandy Rose had finally lost her championship to Roxanne Perez, who did phenomenal on NXT, the Iron. Was it the RN Survivor? Yes, the RN Survivor matchup. And so everyone was just shocked by that. But then we got hit with a few bombshells. So we do find out the next day that she was also released by the WWE, which caught everyone off guard, except maybe WWE and Mandy Rose herself, due to the fact that she did have... a lot of she had a fan time account, which is almost similar to an OnlyFans, where she was basically, you would subscribe and she would have little risque photos, if you will. I won't call it nude photos, but risque photos, if you will, and also a few videos and so on and so forth. And some of the photos were also leaked, I think, like 2-3 weeks ago. So there was that story that hit the internet, and essentially it's not necessarily that she had the account. It's more that she was kind of using her WWE account as promotion, it sounds like. It was against her contract. It was against her contract. It was a violation of her contract to kind of do it that way. And interestingly enough, she signed a new deal in 2019, and it was a 5-year deal.
Yep.
So she had 2 years left on her contract, and the decision to fire her was literally 15 minutes before NXT went on the air.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, what I heard was from a few podcasts on John Pollock on Pulse Wrestling, and from the French one here, from the guys Pat Laprade and Kevin Kevin Raphael. They were saying that Shawn Michaels, when Shawn Michaels heard about because apparently he didn't know about the leaked photos, but when he heard about the leaked photos and one of them, which was more risque, because apparently she's been doubling up, like as her time on fan time has been going up, she's been getting more risque and more risque. I guess when you're charging people $25 a month for this kind of content, you got to up your game sometimes, because people might unsubscribe you pretty quickly.
That's it.
So So when Shawn Michaels found out about this, he rewrote the show in about 15 minutes, took the belt off her, put it on Roxanne Perez, because apparently the match was supposed to be at the pay-per-view, right? The next pay-per-view.
Or in January, I heard. I heard it was
January,
supposed to be almost at the end of January. And she was actually supposed to win it there, apparently.
Exactly. So he had to rewrite the show, take the belt off. But like you said, like JLB said, the bigger of the problem, yes, it's a publicly traded company, and some, I guess, shareholders or board members might not be too keen into having one of their employees doing this kind of content. But the real problem here was it's written black on white on the paper in their contracts that their WWE name, in this case, Mandy Rose, which her real name is Mandy Sakamona, if I'm pronouncing it right, that name belongs to WWE. Anything you do using that name is under WWE's umbrella. So that's where the problem resists. So it's kind of a breach of contract, and so they terminated the contract. I guess she had such a good run, and she's probably an important part, and they saw her as an important part of NXT and WWE in a bigger picture. But you can't have breaches of contract and not have consequences, because then everybody's going to want to breach their contract. So, so that's. I don't think this means it's a permanent thing for Mandy being away from WWE. She might come back one day, but now her contract is over, and she did have 3 years left in her contract, so it was a 5-year contract she signed. So, So yeah, I feel bad. I know some people are on the internet are saying, "Oh, some worse things have happened." They bring up
talking about the Ember Moon scenario.
They
wanted Ember Moon to look sexier, kind of like Mandy Rose, and they're saying that WWE is being hypocritical to that fact. And look, everyone has to stop being the tolerable police. Okay, they have to stop playing this game where it's totally different context. Okay, one, the company, if you were doing these things and the company gave the okay on it, it would be a different story. There was also something that went out that apparently WWE had asked her to stop. Again, not 100%. WWE had asked her to stop the stuff on the website, and she kind of didn't. She refused to kind of not do anything. So they eventually said, okay, well, we're gonna then, if anything else gets crazier, we're gonna have to kind of like let you go, because they weren't liking it. There's also another rumor that apparently they were gonna set off a rumor that she asked for her release 2 weeks ago, but this is just pure speculation, and they're trying to find out if that was something that was legitimately Todd said backstage or not. And Meltzer was apparently still looking into that, but there's apparently a few inside sources for that. And yes, I am looking like Michael Cole. I shaved, and I shaved horribly, and this is probably all going to go too. So we'll see what happens.
That's a good one from our friend here, Big Red. And the this whole thing, of course, Fightful is the one that reported. Well, that's where I saw it about the contract she had signed in 2019, and from his sources, he says that he hasn't found any truth to the fact that Mandy Rose had asked for her release 2 weeks ago, but he's still digging into it. But what he's heard up to now is that was not the case. We've seen the stories with Paige. We also seen this week what came out, the news with Riddle. Some people are calling that a bit of a double standard with this whole story.
Again, different context.
Yeah,
different context, everything. Even if you want to compare the Ember Moon scenario, okay? They wanted her to be sex. Okay, first of all, I get it. It's not right what they did to Ember Moon completely. They just didn't know what to do with her. She was just kind of, not kind of listening, I guess, to them on how they wanted her to do. But they can do that, because guess what? It's their show. It's you got to kind of do what we want you to do, whether you like it or not. Sure, you can do what you want. You can let go then. You know what I mean? This is a company now that's not reaping in the benefits of what Mandy Rose is doing. as her side hustle there with the fan time and her site and so on. But at the same time, WWE is also going to get the backlash from it because quite literally on her Twitter, on her Instagram, she links her website, which also has the links to the other things as well. So I think she was playing with fire there. Because essentially, I wouldn't doubt that a lot of your subscribers you probably got from people who were on your WWE socials and, clicked on it and then clicked on that and then clicked on the only time. She apparently had like 11,000 subscribers or there was like likes. So I don't know what that means for the fan time thing. But I'm guessing you have to subscribe in order to like it. I mean, she was making a killing, and she went now from $25 to $40. So she upped the price.
11,000 subscribers times $40 a month. Do the math. It's like quite a bit of money.
It's quite a bit of money. I think we did it. We were even going off of 40 with, let's say, just 1,000. That's 40,000 a month. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So,
and also one other thing that they brought up the fact, I don't know if people remember the picture that she posted on one of her social media. I don't know if it was Twitter or Instagram. I think it was Instagram, where she's on a beach, kind of long chair, and next to her pool or somebody's pool, and she's naked, but she has both of her belts, which at the time she just had one, the UK belt also. So she had one. She had her NXT belt covering her top, and or the other way around, and the UK belt covering her bottom, and she was completely naked, and nobody had a problem with that. But that's what they're saying. But we don't know if nobody had a problem with that. We don't know if management went up to her and say, okay, that's a bit too risque for our audience, So it's not a double standard here where they're using her sex appeal and then preventing her from making money with that sex appeal. It's totally about contract, and we come up with a contract. You sign it, I sign it as the company, and we both expect each side to honor it. So that's what it comes down to. And it's a shame because Mandy had a great run as NXT Women's Champion. It comes to an abrupt, I don't know if that's the right word, but to a sudden end there that maybe we would have liked more closure on this.
For sure.
But that's what it is, and can't do nothing about it. And I guess you can do whatever you want. She has the freedom to do that, but that freedom comes with consequences. So you got to live with the consequences.
This is partly the reason why Vince didn't allow you to do other things outside of the WWE too, right? So Triple H is a little bit more lenient. He doesn't mind, but and some were like, oh, but what's his face has up, down, down. I'm like, well, okay, first of all, up, down, down is a video game thing. They might, it's not anything that would make the shareholders or whoever be like, oh my God, a video game thing, but you guys are wrestling. Da, da, da. You know what I mean? They're literally just joking around about stuff. When it comes to nudity, it is it's a little tougher there. Whether not full-fledged nudity, I would maybe classify it as more softcore, perhaps. But it is what it is. And she seemed happy apparently after she left NXT. Like she was still okay. Like I guess she kind of knew it was maybe coming.
Maybe it's also a weight off her shoulders because she knew it was coming. Exactly.
That's it. So she's kind of like, oh, okay. Well, they finally said no and fired me for it. But I feel like she has a wrestling bug, man. I don't see her just leaving wrestling. You know what I mean? And I don't know if she's released. Does that mean it's still a 90-day, or I guess it's because it's NXT, it's 30 days?
Yeah, I think it's.
But if she had 2 years left, does that have anything to do with anything? No. It would just be.
So. I think as long as you're released, you have that 30-day non-compete, and you're free to go after that. She is a big name. She ain't no Sasha Banks, that's for sure. But she is a big name, and depending on the situation between AEW and Sasha Banks, I don't think AEW would. They probably can, but I don't think they would hire both of them. Or if they would, they wouldn't bring them in at the same time. So maybe if they're planning on bringing Sasha Banks in, they'll stay a bit away from Mandy for now. But yeah, like you were talking about, up, down, down. I don't think Xavier Woods is getting calls from corporate lawyers telling him, "Oh, this might be a problem. You playing video games on the." So
Right.
So that's it, and she chose it. And listen, she's probably making. Well, she's probably. I think it's safe to say she's making more. She was making more money off her fan time account than her WWE contract.
Well,
So,
I mean, yeah, so it depends too, right? Because then I think she also had like a clothing brand thing too. So she's altogether, she probably was making, well, again, yeah, fan time. Let's say if it's 40,000, it's probably more than 40,000 a month that she was making. If it's $25 a pop, if we're talking 11K here, that's a lot of coin. That's easily 100K, let's say a month.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Just if we're being
A month.
and we're being very conservative here with the 100K. So, 100K a month is pretty good
month.
money. Yeah, it's pretty
Bro,
good
I
money.
wish I had somewhat decent looks to go and want to do that. Fuck, man, are you serious? Oh, Jesus. Maybe I should just
We
be a
don't have
gym
that
rat
luxury.
for like a year and then see what happens. Oh.
But yeah, so that's the story with Mandy Rose. Would you, if you were Tony Khan, would you think about bringing her in?
I would, and I would probably bring her into ROH. I wouldn't bring her into AEW. If you get Sasha for AEW, and Mandy for ROH. If you don't get Sasha, yeah, bring her in. Why not? I mean, if this was before Toxic Attraction, I'd say no. But given all the stuff that she's done with Toxic Attraction and all the matches she's pulled out of NXT, she quite frankly made the NXT Women's Division not really rewatchable again. But because there was still some phenomenal talent there, but she definitely put more eyes onto the women's division with that whole stable there, and she really did great in NXT. And I'm surprised they took that action so quickly. But I guess there was kind of really no way around it. If we don't set you as an example, other people are going to do it too.
Yeah, I completely agree. If I was Tony Khan, I think you hit the button here with Sasha Banks. If she is coming to AEW, I think ROH, a name like Mandy Rose with the notoriety that she has, will definitely help the relevancy of ROH, especially starting a new, well, not a new, but restarting the weekly programs on the Honor Club app. I guess that's the best way to have that your top woman in that women's division. It's a good start to this new ROH era. So I think that would be a possibility. Unless there's sometimes these stuff happen, like these kind of gentleman agreements, backstage agreements saying, listen, we have to do this because we have some pressure from upper management and corporate lawyers, like I was saying. So we're gonna get rid of you. We're gonna release you. Do your stuff, and then we'll try to find a way to bring you back in 6 to 18 months type of thing. So that's also a possibility. But I think I agree with you. I don't think I agree. I definitely agree with you that it looks like she has.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like she has that wrestling bug. So I don't think she'll be she'll be leaving wrestling in some way or somehow. Maybe less full time, more of a part-time role, and I guess ROH AEW is perfect for that, and that's where I see her going more like now.
Well, Impact has even mentioned that they would be interested in her if the AEW doesn't want her. But I mean, Impact, you gotta pony up some dough because at the same time, I mean, she could still wrestle though. You know what I mean? Imagine her versus Grace.
Yeah, Jordan Grace.
Jordan Grace. Like, whoo, gimme. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, I mean, at this rate, and then if she's still free, because I imagine Impact doesn't have any sort of kind of like, you can't do stuff outside of the Impact kind of thing. They can't afford to have that kind of obligation because they're not really paying their wrestlers that
Enough,
much.
exactly.
So I mean, heck, even Impact might be just good for her if she still wants to do her hustle there for the fan time stuff and whatever. And I mean, Impact is technically part time too. So
Yep. And then the way their schedule is based is basically they'll go in on a random day. Well, not on a random day, but the day they choose, and then they'll film like 3-4 weeks of television right away. So it's not
that's
like
it.
a weekly thing that you have to fly in and all the time. So I think it could work for her. But like I said, she's making enough money that she really it won't be her main revenue stream here from wrestling. So if she just wants to continue wrestling and doing that she seems like she likes to do, Impact
Right.
can be a thing. But also AEW and ROH, I would see them having a hard time telling her not to do this stuff outside of wrestling because they use basically their real names in AEW and ROH. So, because I guess that's basically the problem here is her using the WWE Mandy Rose name and doing all this. So,
Well, but
I guess,
she didn't use the Mandy Rose name, but again, if it was situated towards the link, because when you go to that website, it's Mandy Sachs, Mandy Sachs, Mandy Sachs,
okay, Mandy Sachs,
everything.
okay.
So
Okay.
she wasn't using Mandy Rose on like her fan time or anything like that.
Okay.
I think it was more just because it was on her Twitter, WWE Twitter, that
Mm.
website, which led to her Mandy Sachs stuff. And she was kind of always promoting her Mandy Sachs Instagram and all that. So I think that's where
Oh, okay.
WWE was like,
She was
well, no,
using
you
okay.
can't
She
associate the
was
two.
using. Okay, I get it. Thank you for specifying that. So
Sure.
basically, she was using her WWE social media
Fame.
platforms and fame, yes, to promote her personal side hustle. Okay, so that
That's
makes
it.
that was
Which makes
that's what
complete
she did.
sense why any
Yeah,
company, like, I
yeah.
can't go use my company I work for in like, oh, you know what I mean? And then say, oh, yeah, but go here and you'll hear me talk about whatever. And I'm bashing something. And then that would obviously look bad on my company that I would work for. And they'd be like, well, why would you even put us in it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why, like, so I get it. I get it. As a company, you got to protect your brand, especially when you have shareholders and all that. You gotta, when you're dealing with kids who watch the programming, it can lead to a lot of stuff. So I understand, and I think Mandy Rose just kind of knew, like, eventually my luck is gonna run out. But
Mm-hmm.
hey, $25 a pop at 11K subscribers. I mean, I can't hate on her hustle and what she did. I mean, that's dope.
Yep.
That's dope. So she was lucky for a hot minute, and all the more power to her. But I think she does have a wrestling bug. So we'll see what happens and where she ends up.
Yep.
Um, we know where Sasha Banks is going to end up, as
Yep.
she is scheduled for Wrestle Kingdom 14, 15, 14, 17.
Ooh,
Oh
I think
no.
it's 17. I think
17.
it's
Okay.
17. Yeah, I think it's 17.
Wrestle Kingdom. She's reportedly going to be at Wrestle Kingdom. This, of course, isn't a WWE thing. WWE wasn't the one that had kind of booked her to go or something like that. So this is leading to more rumors that she might officially be done with the WWE. We, of course, have reported a bunch of times that she technically was still contracted, but she wasn't part of the internal roster anymore, but she's still on the WWE website. So all this leading to believe the fact that she's doing something in January, so early in January, leads us to believe that, hey, maybe she was contracted until the end of the year and then
Mm-hmm.
she can go do what she wants. No rumors on, well, she does have a match with Kairi Sane in New
Yeah.
Japan Strong, I think. Later on in January. So I imagine Sasha Banks will be at Wrestle Kingdom, not necessarily to wrestle, but to kind of start that feud.
Mm-hmm. That could be a possibility that she won't wrestle on Wrestle Kingdom. From
Right.
what I heard, that's the first day. It just falls on that day, but that she's free to wrestle if she wants to. Apparently, from what I've read, and I've read this from 2 or 3 different sources, that she is getting the highest per appearance
Yeah.
pay since Chris Jericho for New Japan. So we're talking around the 100,000.
So Jericho was 100K.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So she's
So
getting paid more than 100K per appearance. That's
yeah.
wild.
So now we see when when we saw those meet and greets and those autograph signings of her asking for that big amount of money. I don't remember if it was 30,000 or 50,000 at the time, but everybody like, oh my God, why is she asking for so much money? And I guess those were true because she's now asking for this and she's gonna get it. So I guess she's. I know that New Japan
she knows her worth.
To develop. Yeah, she definitely knows her worth and. Now let's see if that's going to cause a payoff for New Japan, because I know New Japan are trying to establish more of a women's division, which they didn't have before. Recently, they've been trying to establish that more. And who else than probably one of the four, or one of the 5 best women wrestlers in the world, definitely starting off and helping you out in establishing this women's division. I guess that's huge. That is huge. Yep. I'm a bit sad to see Sasha Banks go, but at the same time, I am definitely excited to see Mercedes and what she, with a bit more creative freedom and on her own, what she can do and what she can bring to a company. So I'm excited to see this match and especially this match with Kairi Sane.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It's wrestlers. NJBW strong. I don't know how I'm gonna watch that, but I'm gonna find a way.
Yeah, because it's New Japan Strong is their American.
Their American one, but I still think that's part of the New Japan World subscription. So maybe I'll have to get it.
From the app.
I think from the app kind of thing. So, but definitely gonna have to watch that match because Kairi Sane was also phenomenal. She just didn't, unfortunately, get. Well, she got a good push in NXT and. I guess she did a few things, but, she's a great singles wrestler. She was good with Asuka, but, I mean, it wasn't necessarily needed as a tag team. But they were great together, but she can, that match, them two against each other. I imagine that's going to be her first time wrestling. So late January. No, I don't believe in the rumors of Saraya trying to find someone. I don't think it's going to be Sasha Banks. That's the first thing that people were also saying, because it is going to be in January. Well, why would you ask to do a match in January then? Wouldn't it have to be someone that is not going to be contractually not on contract anymore? Which I guess would make sense, but I think that's maybe just part of the swirl, part of the swerve in that regard. But again, AEW has a great relationship with New Japan, so
that's true. That's definitely true. So I don't see conflict coming from there. I could understand AEW using the possibility of that mystery partner being Sasha Banks to push the build up and to get ratings. That's normal. It's part of the game. Yeah. But I agree with you. I don't see Sasha being the mystery partner here. But they're definitely going to play it like it is, especially now that it's out that she's probably completely released from her previous WWE contract starting in the early 2023. So they're definitely going to use that to sell tickets and get ratings and everything. But I don't think it will be her. I think it will be. Some people are saying, I know we talked about this last week, of being somebody new, but I think it's going to be the swerve, and they're just wanting you to think it's Sasha, and it's going to end up just being somebody else that's already with the company. Because I don't see them. Because if everybody thinks it's Sasha, and then you bring in somebody else new, but not as a big, obviously won't be as big a name as Sasha, then you're just going to start off the bat with a bad start for that new person. People are going to be disappointed. They're wanting to see Sasha, and it's going to be this new person. I don't know. It's not a good fresh start for whoever that would be. So I guess it would have to be somebody from the company that already has a name. So like that, people are like, okay, they'll understand the swerve and they'll just move on, and they won't direct their frustrations at this new other person that they swerve this with.
I mean, that is the beauty of AEW having such good relationships with everyone, though, right? I mean, it could easily be someone from New Japan. It could easily be someone, because this match would be happening on the 11th, so it's not during Wrestle Kingdom, right? So it could still technically be Sasha, I guess. It could be Paige Van Zandt. We haven't seen her in a hot minute.
True.
Maybe she hasn't been there a while. So, I mean, people are going to be disappointed either way if it's not Sasha Banks, but that's not what Tony's here for. Tony's here for the fact that you're going to want to tune in anyways to see, and guess what? He's still going to get the ratings he wants. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Tony did also mention January 4th was going to be a pretty big AEW Dynamite as well. So I don't know if he's planning any kind of debuts there. But obviously, I think the 4th or the 5th is the Wrestle Kingdom. So I highly doubt it'd be Sasha.
Are they on the same day? I guess. If it's January 4th, if it's a Wednesday, then Dynamite's on the same day as day one of Wrestle Kingdom.
That is day one, right?
Yep.
So let's go to a legit calendar here. Yeah, it's the same day. It's a Wednesday. So definitely won't be Sasha. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, then again, it could just be her via satellite too, right? She doesn't necessarily need to show up. That's just the rumors. The New Japan hasn't mentioned anything yet. I don't think they've mentioned specifically themselves anything yet regarding that. We know Carl Anderson is official now with his open weight championship facing Tama Tonga. There, so that's going to be fun.
So that's a bit of open mind from Triple H here, and I guess I also heard this from also those same podcasts I mentioned earlier, that when Triple H or whoever he sent to talk to Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson was very adamant about fulfilling those two dates that he had already promised New Japan, because he doesn't want to leave New Japan in bad terms. Right. So he was really adamant that he wanted to fulfill those two dates. I guess the one of them got canceled because of a breach of our conflict of scheduling, because of the
same day as Crown Jewel.
Yeah, exactly.
Or day before. Yeah.
But at least he honored it last night. His defense against Hukalulu. If I'm not pronouncing that right, sorry to all my Samoan brothers. So he defended it, and he regained his title. So he will be now at Wrestle Kingdom fighting Tama Tonga, previously from the Bullet Club. And interesting fact, it will be the first time in history that we will have wrestlers from AEW and wrestlers from WWE fighting on the same card. So that's true. Pretty interesting. Because
you're also going to have Kenny Omega and what's his face there? The other cocky prick.
Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay, that's it.
Yeah.
And I say cocky prick as a term of endearment. That's all I mean.
Yes. when we talk about Will Ospreay as a cocky prick, is a term of endearment, guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, so you're gonna have Kenny Omega and his old friends from his reign as his reign as AEW champion, the Good Brothers. So on the same card, and we're also gonna have, but I don't think Nakamura is not on the Wrestle Kingdom card, but he will be fighting. It's under Noah, if I'm not mistaken.
It's under Noah, and and that's entirely different. But yeah, and that's for the what do you call it? That's his retirement thing happening there.
Yeah, it's part of his retirement tour. Yuta, right? And is it Yuta? No, Muda.
Not Yuta. Muda. That's it. Yeah, that's right. I was thinking of the name too there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess Japan getting a lot of attention here in the wrestling world here. A lot of people wanting to wrestle in Japan, and for New Japan, and for Noah, and for All Japan, and for Stardom, all these Japanese wrestling companies, and it's good to see. It's very fun to see that actually the openness of Triple H and Stephanie, I guess in this case, because this is more of a business side, more and less of the creative side.
Right.
But I guess it's had to be okayed by both. I would imagine. So it's nice to see, and I think it's good. I think it's good for WWE. I think it's good for New Japan. I think it gives them visibility. in Japan, and it gives them, people are like, oh my god, they actually let them come here and wrestle here, and it will get more people on your bandwagon. I would say for that. So I think it's a good business move, and even better when they come back, like they could have something to brag about. If I don't know if they'll let them talk about this on the WWE TV, because I don't know if the openness goes that far, but.
Right.
But it's still, I think it's still good for business coming from both sides, the Japanese side and the WWE side. So I usually don't watch Wrestle Kingdom because it's usually the beginning of the year and we're kind of busy and everything. But it's definitely giving me the little bug here to watch Wrestle Kingdom this year. So
That's it.
I'll definitely
January
be
4th.
watching January 4th. Yeah. Try to
And
have
then
two
the other
TVs,
one's the
Dynamite
21st.
and New Japan at the same time.
That's it. Exactly. Yeah, because he's also saying it's going to be a big show for them as well. And New Japan is apparently going to have something to do with the ROH Honor Club thing as well. So Tony Khan did mention that. He kind of mentioned on the media scrum as like a little soft, like he's Honor Club's already out, first of all. So Honor Club is already out, but he mentioned, the pay-per-views are still going to be like a 90-day thing. And the TV deal is going to be after the Wrestle Kingdom and all that on the Honor Club. So not really a TV deal, but a streaming deal on the Honor Club. And I imagine New Japan's going to have something to do with that in terms of maybe also having it on their New Japan World or something. I don't know. But maybe that could just be New Japan content on the ROH Honor Club. We shall see.
Yep. I heard that. Yeah, New Japan. I heard they're even they have a deal with Stardom also. So there'll be multiple multiple promotions on Honor Club, and it'll be a lot of diversity in the wrestling. So we have some strong style, some American style, and he also said there will be some lucha libre also. We don't know if that will be CML or if that will be AAA. Most probably AAA because that's where the alliance lays. So the Honor Club will definitely be interesting. Also, I know we don't like to talk about this, but he was back in the news this week. Good old Vinnie Mac back in the news. So with the documentary and the Wall Street Journal article. Mentioning more allegations, and he's getting sued. But what really concerns us here is Vinny saying that he was ill-advised by people close to him, and that he wants to do a comeback. I'm coming back to my baby. But obviously, I don't think he knows how publicly traded companies work.
No, I don't think he cares. Like anything else.
There's obviously that too. Yeah.
There's obviously that, but also too, he's still technically the majority shareholder as well, right?
Yeah.
So
for that,
he doesn't care.
So let's put it out there. What he would have to do, one, if he were to come back, would be either he convinces the board to take him back, which I don't think that will happen.
Right.
Two is he fires everybody on the board, and that's including his daughter, including his son-in-law. Well, his son-in-law is on the board, but if he would come back, because I'm pretty sure when he talks about people close to him, I'm pretty sure he's talking about his wife, his daughter, and maybe a few other people that were in his inner circle. So that would be the second option, would be to fire everybody. And the third option, which I don't think he can afford, which would be to buy back all the shares, which I don't think he can afford to do, and just run it, just come back and run it. So I don't see that happening. Apparently, from what Fightful has been reporting, a lot of people inside the company don't want to see him back either.
Right.
And his idea that if he would have stayed, these allegations would have dwindled down. No, I think there would have been more.
They only dwindled because he left at the same time. That's all it was.
So I don't think he's thinking with a straight mind here. I think it's his ego more than
Nope.
anything that is taking
I
over
mean,
here.
it's always been his ego, though, right? It's that's just what it is. The fact I'm sure he's heard, the reports of wrestling being more watchable now, but obviously he doesn't give a shit about that. He
Mhm.
just likes to be in control. Um, One thing now, first of all, for the Vice documentary, the Vince Nine Lives of Vince McMahon, if you haven't watched it, I would skip. It's essentially just a rehashed version of all the dark side of the rings, of all the incidents that happened with Vince McMahon, from the Snuka incident to the screw job through Owen's death. They literally just rehash all the old footage that they had from Dark Side, and they really don't provide you with anything new. Um, so save yourself 2 hours, and I don't know, maybe go watch a movie or something. Go watch
Yeah.
Avatar. It's out now. Go watch that instead. Probably be more worth your time and money, because I don't know why they came out with the Vice doc. I usually love Vice's stuff, but I mean, you just rehashed a whole bunch of stuff and you re-narrated it, so it's somewhat newer. But I
Hmm.
mean, you know,
And just to be clear, this is the Vice Vince documentary. This is not the one that was supposed to come out a few months ago from Netflix. That one is still on the shelf.
right,
They still don't know what they're gonna do with it. It's completely different. So yes, this is. I
right.
also had heard that I didn't get a chance to see it, but I also had heard that it was just a bunch of recycled footage and stories about what they already had hashed out in Darkest Side of the Ring. So
Right.
yeah, I wouldn't. Now I was thinking maybe do I watch it? Maybe not. But if now my co-host and good friend here, JLB, has confirmed what I had heard, then I don't need to watch it. So that's it.
Very
I,
pointless. Very pointless. I mean, unless you want to just see a rehash. I mean, it is interesting how they kind of edited it all together, but I mean, you really don't need to.
well,
It's maybe
especially
a
if
good
you watched
recap of all the dark sides. But if you
exactly,
already watched
especially if
all
you
those
watched
and you
all the
kind of
dark
remember
sides,
those,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
not needed. Not needed.
So yeah, so I guess we both agree here. Vince McMahon back in WWE will not happen, right?
Man, especially since I already got tickets to Elimination Chamber and SmackDown. I swear to God, if it so happens that fucking we're on SmackDown and Vince comes out, I run it all now. This is the show that I booked. Not only did Brett screw Brett, I screwed Montreal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
being the Montreal Screwjob Part Two, that would
Montreal
be
screw job part two. Like,
insane. Like three-quarters of the arena just sit up, just get up and
oh
leave.
my
That would
God.
be that
I
would
would
be
not
sick.
leave. I spent too much time and
It'd be too
money on
much.
these fucking
Yeah.
tickets. Gonna fucking drink myself to death. Fuck.
Yeah, you could drown in your sorrows there, Vince
Oh,
McMahon.
fuck. I hope not.
Yeah, so that was that. What else? I guess maybe. Oh yes, did you hear this rumor? I also heard the rumor. I think it was Dave Meltzer that tweeted it out, saying that Gunter versus Brock is being talked about for WrestleMania 39.
Ooh, I
Um,
have not. Okay, interesting.
so I'm like, whoa, okay. Like, like it just blows my mind that they would even go there. But I'm definitely would want to see that match. No doubt in my mind, I would want to see that match. I don't know how Brock would approach it. If he would approach it with an open mind, that would make it a good match. I know definitely if they would agree on it, it could be a hell of a banger.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I just don't see how you're gonna. I mean, I just don't see how you're gonna push Gunther to that way. You know, you do have the SmackDown. I guess you kind of could. You do have the SmackDown match going on for the IC title, Ricochet versus Gunther on this week's SmackDown. You
Mm-hmm.
make Ricochet win, and maybe Gunther could go on to get bigger and better things. Um, I in on paper it looks good.
Yeah.
I just don't know. The promos might not be great. I know Brock is great at promos now.
True.
But
True.
I mean, yeah, just as like a slapper like that, if you just do it last minute as well, obviously I'm down. I just don't see this really being a good money grab for Trips to use Brock in that way. For a wrestling fan, that's great. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't see this as like a moniker like thing for Trips to really kind of promote for Mania. I can see it at Elimination Chamber. I can see it, but for Mania, I don't know.
Unless you're using this, you would be using a Brock match to really push Gunther into the next level. That's the only you want to put Gunther over.
Um,
Uh, Brock beating Brock in a significant, clean way can do that for you, especially if you're a guy
right.
like Gunther. So yeah, when I heard that, I'm like, okay, make that happen. So I guess the Bobby Lashley with this whole story on Raw about Bobby being fired, and then
No, he
Adam
was hired
Pierce,
again.
and then he was rehired. That he wasn't fired, but Adam Pierce made a video. So I guess this Brock Bobby will have an end at Royal Rumble. It feels like. Will they have their third match? So I guess we could maybe Gunther comes after that match and has a face to face with Brock in the middle of the ring, points to the big WrestleMania sign, and the crowd just goes fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they could even start it at the Rumble, exactly. Like at
Yep.
Royal Rumble, they both meet in the ring, and then you hear the fans go crazy. And
Mm,
that will essentially also give them an extra incentive. Okay, guys, do it. Point,
yeah.
whatever. Get each other out, and then we'll kind of build it from there. They've done it to other wrestlers. Like I said, on paper, it looks good. I just don't know if Brock would be willing to take a loss at WrestleMania for Gunther. Because if Brock wins against Gunther, there's no point to this at all. And
Oh,
you also
obviously.
need to give Gunther more, just more pizzazz. You know what I mean? He's got to have better promo stuff. As a wrestler, I like it. I just don't know as a wrestling fan, rather, I like it. I just don't know how you're going to convince me of the storyline portion, I guess, of it.
Yeah, the build up will be kind of hard, especially if they do it the promo way. Um, but if they just interrupt each other and just beat the hell out of each other in the upcoming weeks, one
I
getting one
maybe
up on
see it
one.
like, I don't know, the Imperium randomly hits, I don't know, whoever. Let's say they randomly hit the Bloodline or something. Brock is kind of feuding something with I don't know, feuding something with Roman. Then uh, the I don't know, something along the lines of where the Usos are hitting on Imperium. Brock, um, Brock then comes and starts just beating on everybody, and then you randomly see him hit on Imperium and F5. Then that's when Gunther kind of comes out, and you have
Hmm.
like maybe like a stare down or something that could kind of work. I'm here to defend my people. Blah 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 blah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
we'll see. We'll see. I guess we'll when Royal Rumble hits, we'll start getting more of a bigger picture of what the WrestleMania is going to look like once that
Yeah.
road to WrestleMania period starts. So,
Mhm.
which is coming up really soon. In about a month, 5 weeks, we should start seeing some pictures of what matches we will be seeing at WrestleMania. So I
For
guess
sure.
that was the breaking news. Part
Yeah.
of the pod. Unless you have
Yep.
something else to add, yeah, that was probably it.
No, I think that's
So
pretty much it.
since we
Yeah.
had a long week of wrestling with two basically pay-per-views, we're not gonna go down through all the matches, but we're gonna try to speak about the ones we liked, the ones we didn't like. So we'll start off with
Yeah.
Final Battle because it's more of its own little thing. I was kind of disappointed in general of the general pay-per-view. Definitely the best match of the weekend. No doubt about that. And we called it. We predicted it. We saw it coming. It was no doubt about it. Was the tag team dog collar match.
Right.
Um, it's
FTR
really
versus
hard to have a
Briscoes.
Yeah, the Briscoes versus FTR. It's really very hard to have a dog collar match, and we were kind of wondering last week of how they were going to do this. So basically, how it was there was two chains. So two guys from opposing teams were chained together, and then the other two guys from opposing teams were chained together. Obviously,
Right.
blood came right away at the beginning of this one,
Right.
but yeah, that one definitely did not disappoint. But the pay per view in general had me disappointed. The only two matches I really enjoyed was this one, obviously, and I really liked Daniel Garcia versus Wheeler Yuta also. Those were basically two matches I really enjoyed. Other than that, I was really disappointed. Versus Mercedes versus Athena.
I mean, yeah, I did. Maybe I wasn't expecting Athena to win because I didn't think she would hold the ROH title for the brand. But I thought it was a great moment. I understand it kind of a little bit disappointing. I wasn't expecting much from the match, unfortunately. So I was just kind of like, okay.
Okay, so your expectations
However,
were already low, so you didn't get disappointed.
They were already low, but at the same time, I don't know, man. I like the other matches. I like the start with
Roosh and
Roosh and thing. I thought that match was fire, except the ending. The ending kind of fucked it up. But Roosh and then AR Fox and,
yeah.
Like I thought that was great. I thought that was a great opener. AR Fox is really, really special. Yeah, I mean, what else? What else was? Wow, I don't. But yeah,
well, there was.
I don't know. I go ahead.
Shane Taylor Productions against Swerve in Our Glory. So basically, we have Swerve in Our Glory basically against separating, and Swerve leaving, and basically.
So that match was okay. I thought Shane Taylor was pretty cool in that match. I've never seen Shane Taylor wrestle. I think it was a decent match. I went. I don't know. I'd give it like a 3.3 out of 5. You know.
Yeah, I'll be okay with a 3 out of 5. It wasn't anything special, but it did its job of bringing back after that Mercedes Athena match. It did its job of bringing back the crowd into it a bit. Your boys, the Castles and his boys there, that was against the Embassy. You enjoyed it, yeah?
I don't know, man. I feel like Dalton Castle can't do anything wrong. I thought it was okay. It wasn't good as Briscoes or Yuta and Garcia, but it was an alright match. I didn't have any issues with it. It was better than what I expected in the sense of what Brian Cage and his Embassy team did. Didn't expect them to win though. That was a little bit surprising, but obviously Brian Cage ain't doing much on AEW, so I guess he'll be the face of ROH for now. And Dalton Castle is still not part of ROH technically. He still hasn't signed. So, you know.
So I guess this is
Tony
Khan installing. Yeah, the boys are, but not Dalton exactly for the specification. I guess this is Tony Khan in installing his boys in the top positions in ROH. The Briscoes winning it and getting back those titles, I guess, is a big part of ROH. They're a big part of that fan base. They are absolutely loved by the hardcore ROH guys. So I understand that one. Like we've mentioned,
and the fact that you're never going to see him on AEW and Discovery because of the whole Discovery shindig. So bring him in ROH.
That part makes sense. I also think Wheeler Yuta, we had talked about this last week. I think Wheeler Yuta taking the belt also makes sense because I think Wheeler Yuta is going to be more towards ROH, and Daniel Garcia, we already saw some signs of it yesterday again, starting again with the separation, the division with the Jericho Appreciation Society. So I think Daniel Garcia, Tony Khan has more AEW plans for Daniel Garcia than he has Yuta. So we saw a bit that one coming. What do you think about the Joe Juice match? Samoa Joe versus Juice Robinson.
I don't know. I mean, considering this is okay, I don't really recall the Juice match that he had maybe 2 weeks ago on Dynamite or Rampage that well. I was kind of disappointed by this match though. This is probably the worst match of the night for me.
I agree. Yep.
Uh, I don't know. It was nothing crazy, kind of pointless in that regard. I mean, it didn't make any sense for Juice to win it either. You're not going to come from New Japan to go to ROH just like that. You're obviously going to bring him to AEW to shine for a bit.
Yeah.
You mentioned he was all elite, no, and all that.
Yep.
So
Yes.
it didn't make any sense for Juice Robinson to win the ROH title. So pointless match, pointless storyline, and just wasn't that great. I don't know. Wasn't
Yeah, it didn't. I've seen some great matches of Juice this year, especially in the G1. He had a great G1 for New Japan. Since he came back and he joined the Bullet Club, he has kind of a fresh start, I guess, and a new character or gimmick, I guess. And it was really working out, but I was disappointed by this match. I preferred seeing Samoa Joe versus Darby the other day than Samoa Joe versus Juice here. So I guess I understand why they're keeping the ROH TV belt on Joe. He's a big, huge name in ROH. He's been there from the beginnings of ROH. So I guess that's your how would you call it? Your homeboy there for ROH is going to be, I guess, the backbone here, because I don't see Claudio being the backbone of ROH, at least not for the beginning. Even though I love Claudio, but can he carry a company? Remains to be seen. I like the main event.
Why did you bring Claudio into the picture?
Well, because Claudio wins the title, right? So I'm saying, as
ROH,
ROH,
I mean, he's gonna be the backbone. He's gonna probably have it on TV.
No, he's gonna have it, but I don't know if he's gonna be the one performing, opening the shows, giving the promos at the beginning of the show. He's not gonna be. That's not his style. He's gonna probably be finishing off the shows almost on a daily week by defending it. I'm guaranteed he's going to be a defending champion of ROH. So that's going to have a lot of ROH championship matches on that application on Honor Club. But I don't see him carrying the promos that are going to be starting off the shows and stuff like that. I see more, at least for the beginning, I see more Samoa Joe doing that. Because Claudio too, don't get me wrong, Claudio too is a big name in ROH. He was also a big guy at the beginnings of ROH. But the way he's limited on the mic might hold him back in how he can carry the company on his back. I think he can carry it wrestling wise, but promo wise is going to be a bit harder. But I did love the main event though. I love the championship match. Especially the ending. Was very I don't know how
very creative.
Some people didn't like it. Yeah, I found it creative and actually good.
I didn't mind it, and I think you can only really do that to someone like Chris Jericho. With Jericho tapping out that way, I'm sure anyone after 27, 28 spins would probably tap out too. But I think with it happening to Jericho, it made sense. I see the storyline you built there. Both Combat Club members win titles. Both JAS members lose titles. Created for an interesting story on AEW. Jericho then losing to freaking Action Andretti.
Yeah.
On
the crowd went absolutely nuts, though.
Well, he's fucking fantastic, though. And essentially, that was when Jericho had saw Andretti on Dark. When he was on commentating, I think he was commentating, and Jericho is like, "This kid's a star. I want to fight this kid." Like, so it was Jericho who wanted to lose, and he really has high hopes for Andretti. So, I mean, the guy's fire in the ring. So I can see him and Dante do some crazy shit together. You know what I mean? Like,
and the crowd is really behind him. Like that. When I really noticed that the crowd was behind him, and I was like, okay. These people like him, is when he kicked out of the Cold Breaker.
Right.
And everybody just went crazy and got up. I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. The crowd's really behind him. There's a chance they might. At that time, I didn't know they were going to give him the victory, but I'm like, wow, this might be a strong enough crowd reaction that you do give him the victory. Like, call an audible and give this guy a pin.
Right.
But they gave it
to
him.
I mean, at the same time, because. Well, because I think everybody thought it was just going to be a squash too, right? So it was to everyone's like, why is Jericho fighting this guy? You know what I mean? No one knew who this guy was or anything like that. Why is it's okay? It's going to just be a squash. And then so it was a pleasant surprise, and the guy can go in the ring too. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, we'll see how he is on the mic now. That
Yeah. That will be
depends
phase
too
two.
on
Now,
how much he can do.
we could say he at first impression he completely nailed it on a first impression.
For sure.
Now let's see if he can hold that pressure on going forward on a week to week basis. Because I'd never seen him before. Like I know I had heard about the story about the Jericho story that you just told, but I never watched Dark or Dark Elevation, so I really had no idea who this guy was. I thought when I saw it, when they announced, see, because they were announcing Chris Jericho in action later, they weren't even like basically saying who he's gonna face. Like, and then it was just before going to commercial that they said, okay, up next coming against Action Andretti. I'm like, who's this guy? Okay, I guess this is just for a squash to get Jericho back on the winning ways after losing at Final Battle, but that wasn't it, man. And he's been retweeting since yesterday. He's been retweeting everybody that is giving props to that match and to Action Andretti. So he's really behind this guy, Action Andretti. Like
he really is.
Jericho, JAS aside, he's really behind this guy. So there's more to be seen. But definitely a good first impression for Action Andretti. I was gonna call him Marco Andretti. Action Andretti here, not to be confused with the racing legends Marco and Michael Andretti. Okay, so that was Final Battle. Yeah, NXT Deadline, man. That's where I was surprised. I guess that's maybe a reason why, because my expectations were much higher for Final Battle. That's why maybe I felt a bit disappointed, and my expectations weren't that high for Deadline, and they really outperformed those expectations. So that's why I think I preferred Deadline better. I really like this Iron. I know when we explained this when they came out, when Shawn Michaels announced the Iron Survivor Challenge. Yeah, that we explained the rules. It was a bit confusing. And like we're like, okay, how they're gonna do this? It seems a bit like a clusterfuck. I think that's even what the word I used back then.
Probably.
And but no, it made perfect sense, and both matches were good.
Yeah, essentially, if you didn't have Iron Survivor matches, though, it would have been a shit card.
Yeah,
I thought the Apollo Ron Breaker match was trash. Like it was decent, but I just didn't care for what they were telling in the ring. I felt like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't care. I was just like, okay, well, I think it was kind of forced anyways, this match upon us.
Yeah.
But it really didn't do much.
I think Shawn Michaels had one mistake in the booking of this, this pay-per-view. He should have finished with the men's Iron Man, Iron Survivor Challenge. And because it's very hard for those guys coming out after that match, and trying to live up to the match that happened before them. So I think it should have been better if they would have finished with the men's Iron Survivor Challenge, because yes, I felt that the crowd wasn't even into it too much, into that Braun Apollo. So I think they kind of worked themselves into a corner here with the way they booked it. I think Pretty Ugly, not Pretty Ugly.
Pretty Deadly.
I think Pretty Deadly against New Day was a good match, though. Surprised to have New Day win, but I think it was a good match. What'd you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was fine. New Day did New Day stuff. Pretty Deadly are a pretty good tag team, though. So I thought it was decent. I was shocked by New Day winning to that point. I'm like, but aren't you guys supposed to be helping out the new talent? What's going on here? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I thought it was a decent match. Matt, worst match for me was the Apollo match. So Pretty Deadly doesn't win match of the night either. But yeah, it was fine. I mean, it was your New Day. It was a typical New Day match. I don't think it was better as like a New Day versus Usos. Maybe I wouldn't go that far.
Not there yet, yeah.
Not there yet, but I mean, Pretty Deadly could work, so I didn't mind it.
What do you see? Because this now throws a rock in my expectations now, because either Pretty Deadly gets back the title in a future match coming up soon, or I see Pretty Deadly coming up to the main roster.
So I don't know if Pretty Deadly was on NXT this week. I just assumed that they might be coming up to the main roster, maybe for like Rumble or something. So I think they're slowly going to get written off TV. The crowd is pretty behind them. They're very different to an extent, because they're kind of just like they're their gimmick is more like they're kind of like narcissists, right? To an extent.
Yeah, yeah.
So their gimmick has been seen before, but they do it differently. I think, and God knows, WWE needs tag teams. So
Yes.
bringing them up might not be such a bad idea, and then New Day can kind of mess around in NXT for a while too. Yeah, because you need some new blood and some new tag teams, anyways, on the
I
main
wouldn't
roster.
be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Pretty Deadly and the Creed brothers move up sooner rather than later to the main roster. Because, like you said, I totally agree. I think that the tag team division does need some help there. Need some new blood there. So I definitely. I don't know if Pretty Deadly. If there's no rematch, then I'm almost guaranteed they're coming up to the main roster. Maybe have one last match. I don't know. If they're gonna fight, I think they take back the title. So I don't. If they're gonna come up to the main roster because they weren't there on Tuesday, so maybe that's the beginning of the Pretty Deadly on the main roster. Alba Fire not even against Isla Dawn or Dawn. Sorry. Alba Fire, which was
Don't give me supernatural bullshit, please. Yeah. With the whole referee thing,
cursing the ref,
like then why didn't you just curse your opponent? You know what I mean? Like, why curse the ref? Like, I don't know. She's an all right wrestler. I don't mind her. It's just when it comes to this whole like, I'm sorry, Bliss did it way back when and whatever, and I didn't like it then. Like, don't give me this bullshit. Just stop. Don't. You're already trying to exceed my expectation. You're already trying to make me believe that, you're hurting someone when I know it's all planned or whatever. That's good. That's fine. You don't have to make it above and beyond and make it into a magic show. You know what I mean? It's not there. It's not that. I don't watch wizardry movies and TV shows because of the suspension of disbelief. So, I'm not going to also like your match either because I'm not going to believe you, but, it was what it was.
You're grabbing my leg, my leg and all of a sudden there's some black foam coming out of my mouth.
I mean, the referee did a good job, with kind of like faking it there.
Oh, the acting, yeah.
Acting was great, but I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
And I don't even think that's I don't even think NXT has that big of an audience for a younger audience because this is more like, early teens, like the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-olds.
Well, yes and no. I'm sure there's some adults who like that, magic, cursing, and so on. Wrestling fans are weird too, huh? So that could be up a lot of wrestling fans as well. But it just doesn't work when you especially don't necessarily have Gacy's Club, I wouldn't consider them to be supernatural. They're just, gothic, cult-like, culty feel. But yeah, it doesn't really work when you're like the only one who has superpowers. It works with AEW because it's somewhat subtle. But yeah, in NXT it just seemed weird. It just didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work for me also. I think that was the most disappointing part of
unless there was like some storyline that I missed on some NXT, because I don't watch generally when I only watch NXT, I only really watch the pay-per-views. So unless there was something I missed that she did continually, I imagine she does this a lot on the TV shows, not in matches, but just doing stupid shit. I remember when she faced, I don't think she faced Mandy, but when Mandy faced someone, she had went on top of the ladder and spat in their face or something. And that was fine because like whatever. But, I don't know, this whole I'm going to touch you and I'm going to curse you. It's not my bag,
No. No, I didn't enjoy that. Also, Roxanne Perez winning the women's Iron Survivor Challenge.
Right.
She is really over with the crowd. It's okay. I'm okay with that booking.
She's
I
very
got no
young
problem.
too. So on top of that, so
Yep. And she did wrestle a few matches in AEW, right? Also,
oh,
so
okay,
I don't know if it was on Dynamite, but I had read that she had wrestled a few matches there, and that they ended up WWE ended up signing her before she could conclude a deal with AEW. So if that's the case, then props for Triple H because she's good. Maybe she's got to work out
Mhm.
on the mic there because on NXT when she gets attacked by Mandy Rose and then she's like holding on to the ropes and saying, "Oh, forget about our title defense. Why don't you do it right now? I want to fight you right now." It wasn't as convincing as I would like it to be, but she's
right.
young, so she's gonna get better. She can definitely back it up in the ring, and she's in the right place and with the right person in charge, and Shawn Michaels to advance that part of her gimmick that she needs to work on, which is her promos. I think she was a student of Booker T, right? That was
Yeah,
why Booker T was going absolutely
and
crazy.
yeah, Booker T's got to stop playing favorites though. Like, bro, I get it. You're happy, but don't show it on commentary. I mean, I don't even know why the fuck you're there. I think, um, I think once Pat McAfee's done with this whole football thing, I think Baron is going to go back to NXT, and
And Pat goes back to SmackDown.
Pat's going to go back to SmackDown, and Booker T's out of there because I don't know. I don't think Booker T provides much value to the NXT brand. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea to begin with. I would have much rather have seen him on SmackDown. You know,
Yeah, I
but
agree. I agree. He's a bit too overhyped for NXT, and I'd like NXT to have if it's gonna be if they're gonna develop talent in NXT, then why not develop also your next generation commentators also? So
right.
try to bring in. So try to bring. I think Wade Barrett was the right was getting better when he started off. I wasn't the biggest fan, but I was seeing the progress that he was having, and I was starting to enjoy him. And he's actually doing an okay job on SmackDown.
Yeah, no,
It's
he's
more of a
fine.
it's more of a question of Booker T's job on NXT. Really gets
Yeah,
overexcited for some stuff that okay, you don't have to get excited for that. Okay, just take it easy.
right.
Then the men's. Okay, let's talk about this. So obviously Carmelo, I'm pissed because Carmelo doesn't win, but I understand if it's to bring up Carmelo to the main roster. He has nothing else to prove.
Right.
I know he hasn't won the big title in NXT, but I think he's ready for the. I
He's
think
already a star, though. He's already
yeah,
a
he's
star.
already a star. Melo definitely is money, and I think he's more ready for the main roster than the champion is. Braun still has a
I'd agree
few
with that.
kinks to work out, so I'm okay with Hayes not winning here. Okay, yes,
I'm not
Grayson.
okay
I
with
can't.
JD McDonough not getting a fucking point, though.
Yeah, yes, that was disappointing.
What the
I don't know
fuck
if that
was
was a
that?
punishment or something, but fuck was it disappointing, man. And I saw it coming, and I'm like, oh, they're not gonna give him one fucking fall, man. Come on.
Right.
Especially the fact that that fucking idiot, and I can't stand him. I know his job is to make me not like him, but
Right.
Grayson Waller or Walker, I think it's Waller, Grayson Waller,
Waller,
um,
yeah.
is I just don't like him. I don't think he's ready. I think he's good on the mic.
He's
But I
entertaining,
think
though.
he is entertaining. I won't lie, but I think
He runs
very
away. He was the guy that ran away, right? If I'm not
yes,
mistaken, am I mixing-
yes. That was good actually. That was good
was
way
funny.
to get the win. You know, he did. So he's just running. So for the last minute and a half, he's just running away from the other guy. I
Right.
found that was good. I think he's a bit green, and he pulls some good moves. He's very athletic, but I think as a wrestler, he's a bit green. He needs to work more on his technical side of the wrestling. People hate him, and he got the heat definitely. You saw it after the win, and you saw it on NXT when he interrupted Roxanne Perez. Definitely the heat. He's got the heat from the fans. So I
Sure.
understand.
And a very punchable face. I mean, I get it.
A very punchable face. I even might think it's so punchable that they might make him take the title away from Braun when he does get his match. That's how much heat he has, and how much people will go crazy if that happens. And I think Shawn Michaels might want to might decide to pull the trigger on that one. I don't know if I agree with it yet, but I can see why they would go there. But that was a sick match.
And he's a little green, so I was gonna say he reminds me of Austin Theory, but just in terms of attitude. Or the cocky Austin Theory, you know what I mean? The one that was more less angry, but more cocky. He reminds me of like a spitting image of Austin Theory in that regard. I guess he's a bit bigger than Austin Theory, but wrestling wise, he's not there yet. But
you see the potential's there because like he's athletic, so you see it rolling into the ring with the cutters. You see that he has that athletic side of him that we saw at the beginning of Street Profits and NXT with Montez Ford. Like these guys are very athletic, but they're basically a bit green now. Obviously, Montez Ford has improved a lot since then, and I think Grayson, being such a good athlete, will improve also. And if his job is to make people not like him, he's fucking good at his job.
He's doing it. He's doing his job. Pay him double because he's doing it.
So I think we can agree here. This experiment with the Iron Survivor Challenge was a success.
Yeah, keep at it. I'm always down for different types of match types, and this one worked. Kudos to Sean. If he came up with it there, this was fun.
I liked it. I liked the 90 seconds in the, if you suffered a pin, 90 seconds in the penalty box. Who
was the one that beat him up in the penalty box? They were beating each other up in the penalty box or something.
It was JD and Axiom.
Oh, that's it. Oh my God, Axiom too.
Yes, I can't believe we're about to forget
all the L's.
Axiom. Yeah,
he took all the L's.
But I guess it's because more that he's newer, but he pulled off some sick spots there, and I think this guy's got a future with the company. Spanish. He was Spanish. When I say Spanish, from Spain. He was in NXT UK before they shut it down. I like him. I think he's got a future in NXT and eventually in WWE. I like those spots put together. JD McDonough and him have a little bit of a rivalry coming back from NXT UK. So there's a bit of a history there. There's a bit of a history there, but Axiom was very good. The only thing I would maybe, I don't know. I think the coming in every 5 minutes is the only thing that I would maybe tweak a bit. Maybe make it 2 minutes or 90 seconds type of thing.
Well, and that's the thing. I think the match is too short. Yeah, if anything, I think you up it by 10 to 15 minutes. You know what I mean?
If you're gonna have,
so you make it 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah, I totally agree. If you're gonna have the wrestlers coming in every 5 minutes, then you're gonna have to add at least a minimum 10 minutes to this match, because then the last guy comes in and he has 10 minutes to get as many pins as he can. If the other ones already have a big lead, it will be hard for them in 10 minutes to try to get 2 or 3 or 4 even pins. So that's maybe the only thing we would touch on, but it's not the end of the world. The 30th guy that comes into the Rumble has an advantage, and in this case, the 2 guys that start off in the ring have an advantage. I guess it would be like that. But if there was something to fix, that would be the one thing I would fix in those matches. But kudos to the creative for coming up to this match. The experiment was a success, in my opinion.
And they didn't lose points, by the way. So that was the only thing I think we got wrong. Because I remember them, because they didn't lose points when they lost. Yeah. They just went to the penalty box.
For 90 seconds, exactly.
For 90 seconds. So that's a thing. So that I'm glad. I think it would have confused a bunch of freaking people. I think this match type was a success. Hell, I could even maybe see it during a WrestleMania as well. If the main roster wants to take it, I do think it's going to be just exclusively NXT for now, though. But that was fun. That was fun.
Yep, it was fun. Can't wait to. I would like to see. Now that you mentioned, I would like to see this match with some of the top wrestlers. But I definitely agree that for now, it's NXT's little baby, and it will stay that at least for the foreseeable future. Maybe down the line,
look at War Games. War Games was NXT's baby, and then boom, WWE took it only like 5 years later. But
it doesn't mean that Survivor Series next year. Like I see more War Games fitting for the Survivor Series team of like teams, but
well, I mean, Iron Survivor could easily work too, though.
Exactly, it's literally Survivors in the name, so
that's it.
So it could definitely be a thing there for Survivor Series in the future. So that was the 2 pay-per-views this weekend. Let's go with SmackDown quick. I really like the first match opening the show with. I don't know if there was if the other guy was injured but it was Sheamus and Butch versus the Usos to start off the show. I don't know if Ridge Holland was hurt or not, but that was a good match. Once again, these two teams, whether it's Sheamus or whether it's Ridge with Bush, always are pulling out good matches with the Usos. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get a chance at the belts again. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're the ones who end up taking the belts away from the Usos, or at least one of the belts.
Yeah, I mean, with if the New Day isn't there anymore, I definitely do see the Brutes definitely taking it away. As I said, you do need a new tag team, so it depends. As of right now, though, Brutes would definitely be the candidate to take it. Viking Raiders, unfortunately, aren't there. Aren't there yet. I'm not.
They're on their way.
They're on their way, but I don't know. Not there yet.
Yeah. Street Profits are also still. They're getting better. Props to Angelo Dawkins, man. This guy is looking. This guy is probably the guy that's stayed the longest. Yeah, to both.
To both. Montez Ford looks like he put on weight, and Dawkins looks like he lost weight and put on muscle. So, kudos to both men. They look completely different.
Yep. And Dawkins looks. He's the guy. He's the guy. I think that's the record for the longest stay in NXT or developmental. But he stayed there for years. I think it was like 6 years or something. But he's still. You still see him improving in the ring. So this guy is still working. He's the perfect definition of determination and work ethic. Because this guy, starting off when he started in NXT, was basically always the same 6-7 moves he was doing. But now he's getting better. He's making new moves. So it seems like he's working really hard outside camera on his wrestling skills. So props to them. But I just don't see them quite there yet for the title pictures. I see more the Brawling Brutes taking the titles away from the Usos for now. Then you had the LA Knight segment. Last week I was going to tell you they're starting to lose me with this, but I revised that. I think it's getting.
What happened in this segment? Now. I think I might have missed this.
Well, now it's LA Knight is basically showing the videos of all the times he was attacked. And he was pointing out, he says, Bray Wyatt says he never hit me. He wasn't the one who attacked me. But look at the video. Who's there standing behind? It's the guy with the mask. You see in the dark where he's laying down. Or when he opened the door, the second time he got attacked, in the dark, there was the shadow of somebody there. So he's like pointing out all these things. And basically gets interrupted by a video of Uncle Howdy again. And surprisingly, at the end of that video, with the mashup of voices, at sometimes it's Uncle Howdy, at sometimes it's Bray, and even at the end, you hear. I'm pretty damn sure they didn't confirm it on commentary, but I'm pretty damn sure that's Alexa's voice at the end of that video when it's the girl talking. I'm pretty sure, not 100% sure, because like I said, they didn't confirm it, but it sounded like it was.
But it's like a woman's voice.
Yeah, it's a woman. It's definitely a woman's voice. I'm not sure if it's Alexa's, but it sounded like.
Well, it's got to be Alexa's, bro. Because at this point, even with the thing that happened on Raw,
exactly,
with her doing the Sister Abigail, her randomly seeing the picture on the screen of the Bray Wyatt, the rabbit there, and all that. So, I mean, obviously, it's got to be her.
Yeah, it's got to be her, and this has
or it's a swerve.
Yeah, it could also be because this whole story has to come to maybe not to an end. I'm not saying to an end, but it has to go to the next level here.
For sure.
Because yeah, you might start losing interest of some people.
Well, I
in
mean,
this.
and that's where Rob Fee had mentioned, make sure you watch SmackDown or you're going to regret it.
Okay, so maybe we're gonna
So
get the next step in this.
maybe
Yeah.
we'll get the next step with what you're kind of hoping for there. It is in Chicago, but a lot of people are speculating it obviously has something to do with Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. So
Yeah.
you'll definitely, hopefully, get your answer. So, but he definitely tells you to definitely watch SmackDown this week, and
And
that's
I
going
like
to be a
that
good
LA
time.
Knight is not backing down from this or like scared. He's like taking this. He's taking the bull with the horns, and he wants this fight with Bray.
Right.
So at least I like that part. You know, he's not getting freaked out by all this supernatural stuff and mysterious stuff. So I enjoyed that. What else was good? Yes, I also enjoyed Ricochet and New Day versus Imperium. It was
Yeah, no, that was fun.
fun match. Liv and Knox, Tegan Knox versus Ronda and Shayna. But nothing special there. And then, well, yeah, there was that BS fucking Hit Row segment. I really feel bad for Hit Row. Yes, they finally got the advantage over the other teams that they've been feuding with, I guess. Yeah, Fantasma, Legado del Fantasma. But yeah, I know we've mentioned this before, but they're missing something there. Hit Row.
What did Hit Row do this time around? Because I didn't watch a lot.
Well,
of
no, it was
SmackDown.
like it was kind of a video package showing them finally beating up Legado. So it was like finally getting over, which so it was like they're trying to, after making them lose in some, well, not squashes, but in some pretty easy matches recently in recent weeks. It seems like they wanna now put them over. Now you made them look weak. Now you all of a sudden trying to put them over. It's going to be harder than it would have been when they first came back. So that's it. And oh my God, what a shitty finish! I don't know what your opinion. I'm dying to hear your opinion on the final segment. But what a shitty Kurt Angle celebration there.
I mean, I expected it though. I didn't expect necessarily the milk truck, but I expected, if anything, I'm like, oh, and then they talked about the cake. Oh, you gotta watch that. I'm like, oh God, okay. I mean, whatever. I don't know. I at least we saw what is it? Stephen Gableson? What's the Olympic? Steve Gableson, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's Gableson, I think, or is it
Gable?
Wrong, yeah, I think it does sound wrong.
Gable Stevenson.
Now that sounds a bit better.
I know, right? Gable Stevenson.
It's Gable Stevenson.
Oh, there you
it's
go.
Gable Stevenson. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that was kind of
I mean, whatever. It was cheesy. I did like the whole Jason Jordan and Kurt Angle thing.
Yes,
Happy birthday,
that was
Dad.
cute.
That was hilarious. That was cute.
Yeah. But I don't know. I shouldn't have ended the show. That's maybe what got me.
Well, I mean, you kind of had to end the show with that.
Yeah.
All that milk everywhere.
Oh,
that would have been too hard to fucking clean up.
That's true. Yeah.
Like,
if you look at it, the milk
seconds.
with the milk. Yeah. But at the beginning, when them opening the bottles of milk and throwing them in the ring, I'm like, oh my God, don't tell me they're doing this like this. Thank God he went to go get the hose, because it would have been much worse if they would have took that hose. Because them opening bottles out of the milk crate and just throwing the 600 milliliters of milk that's in the bottle into the ring wasn't doing anything.
It's the exact replica that he did with I don't know, was it the Corporation or Austin? It's the exact thing, same thing he did.
Well, with the hose,
Kurt Angle mentioned that he did love it. Yeah, but he also did the milk cartons too. He did the milk cartons first, and then he got the hose out.
Oh yeah, I thought he drank the milk cartons and then he took out the hose and then started wetting out.
Well, I mean, he threw a few. I mean, I might not remember correctly, but I think he threw a few, and then he also took out the hose as well, kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Kurt Angle did mention that he was really happy he was able to do that. That was one of his most favorite moments.
Yes.
In total, in all, while he was wrestling in WWE. So it was cool for him. It was his birthday. Why not? And he was the one that brought it up
Yeah.
to them. So, and they're like, all right, you know what? Let's do it.
Yeah, it's okay. There's enough respect there for Kurt Angle to let him do
For sure.
let him do that. So I have no problem with them doing it. I just maybe would have thought maybe another part of the show, but you're right. With all the milk there, it would have been a logistical problem.
Too hard. I mean, if it was taped,
Yeah.
I'd understand, but
Yeah.
it's not
But
taped.
yeah, okay. So all right, that was SmackDown. Rampage, I guess the only thing really to no, there's a few things here. Mox against Konoshko Takeshita was a good match. I really enjoyed that match. It's your classic Mox match, but I like the way Takeshita takes the hits, and I like the way he gives it also. He gives me a little feel of a Kota Ibushi a bit there. Maybe when he was younger or something, but I get a little feel of that. Big Bill, we have Mr. Morrissey has changed the name to Big Bill.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I have just big here, Big Bill, LOL.
Yeah. No, that's it though, right? Like, what the fuck? I was like, Big Bill. I'm like, guys, okay, if you got to change the name, you can't use Morrissey for some stupid reason. CW, or what is it, W Morrissey? If you can't use that for some stupid Big Bill. How uncreative can you be to name it Big Bill? Like, what? Guys, out of all names in the he's big. Is Bill even part of his name in any way? No, right?
Well, because William, I guess, because William, so Bill's short for William. That's where they're going, I guess. But I wonder how many people sat around the table and was like, okay, what are we going to call him? We need a new name. W. Morrissey's not working. Hey, Big Bill. Big Bill, that's the one. Come on, some great minds put together to come up with that one.
I think this was all Khan. Khan just kind of said it, and everyone's like, all right, whatever, man. We don't care.
Yeah, a bunch of yes men around them.
He's
okay,
like,
good idea.
Okay, good. Sure. He's like, call me whatever the fuck you like. Just call me out to that ring so I could be on fucking TV. All right, you got it, Big Bill. So.
That's it.
I was like, Big Bill. Fuck.
I found that funny. I can't wait to mention
I digress.
That one.
Yeah.
Then we had Orange Cassidy to finish the night against Trent Seven, which was formerly from NXT UK, right?
UK.
Yeah, that's right. Which I like him. I find he's good in the ring. I think it was a good, okay match for a main event on Rampage. Nothing special, but I was entertained. So
no, but Trent Seven's pretty good. He has a few different kind of moves as well. I've never watched him in NXT UK there, so I didn't really know much about him. When I saw him in WWE 2K22, I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" But yeah, no, he's good, and I'm pretty sure they'll sign him.
He was present at the Final Battle pay-per-view, sitting ringside or front row more accurately. Okay. So I think maybe there's a possibility there he will be part of ROH, and I think that's a good place for him. I think he could be. Yeah. He can be a bigger name in Ring of Honor than he would be. He would easily, well, not he would easily, but he can easily be forgotten in the shuffle there in AEW. I guess ROH can more. He can. Expose his talent more and be seen more in ROH. So I'm okay with that. So that was Rampage. Then what do we have on Raw? Which, yes, I like that Bayley versus Alexa. You see, to start off the show, you see that these two girls, these two ladies, these two women have a past. They
they work well together.
They've worked very well together, and it seems like it's just it's part of the flow. It's like easy flowing for them. So I really enjoyed this match, and I enjoyed the Bianca, the Sister Abigail tease here again. With her grabbing Bianca and then letting her go. Eventually, Bianca. It seems like Bianca's gonna get pissed about this, and she might do something.
Well, Alexa won, no?
Yep, Alexa won. Yeah.
Yeah, so Alexa won, and isn't she supposed to face Bianca? When is that supposed to happen? Rumble?
I don't think it's Rumble. I don't think it's Rumble. We'd have to check, but I don't think it's Rumble.
Okay, just gonna happen on a Raw, I guess.
I think she's not, I don't even think they mentioned it yet. I just think she got like the number one contender,
okay.
but they didn't mention when the match was going to be. But I think it would be Raw, I think, and that's probably when you're going to see the complete turn of Alexa Bliss. It was probably going to be during that championship match. Do you see Alexa because of all this Bray Wyatt story? Do you see Alexa coming away with the title here?
I guess not. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind, even if it's Bray Wyatt's Alexa, Fiend Alexa. I just want something new for the women's title. Bianca, great wrestler, nothing against her, but she's getting stale for me at this point in time. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. There's nothing that's been changed with you. Turn her heel, man. But you can't. I don't know how you turn her heel when you're gonna. But turn her heel at some point. After all this, when she loses the title, she freaks the fuck out. I don't know. You know what I mean? Do something with her because
I think she needs to turn heel so she could eventually later down the road come back stronger as a babyface.
Come back stronger as a babyface. That's fair. Fine. I'm done with that. Yep. But right now, I don't know. She's gotta get rid of it. What's happening with Asuka too, though?
Well, because
you know what I mean. Asuka is like looking all kinds of weird.
She didn't go all the way like she's been going on Instagram, like right. But she went with some little subtle different changes, even in the wrestling a bit. So I think I think this is going to be more of a gradual change for Asuka. She's gonna because Rhea won, right, that match against Asuka. Yes. So yeah, I think it's going to be the frustration is going to be mounting for Asuka, and little differences are going to come every week until she completely loses it and goes her evil character side. So I think that's what they're doing with Asuka. They're going to take it slowly, but every week she's going to hit a fence or hit a wall more accurately, and eventually she's just going to snap. So I think that's what they're going here. Gable versus AJ, man.
Fire. And I wouldn't expect anything less. Yeah. Both men are just fucking phenomenal in the ring. Give Gable a fucking title. I don't know how you're going to do it, but this man deserves to be champion of something. He's probably, maybe just pure wrestling standpoint, he's probably one of your top 10, if dare I say top 5 in that ring. And it's just very unfortunate that they haven't done anything with Gable for a very, very long time. I almost would put him in my Tozawa. I'd put him in my Tozawa category where this guy is being underutilized. And and that AJ match, I mean, I see it every time I see him in the ring. He never puts on a bad match, Gable. And there's a reason for that, because he's fucking fire in the ring. You know what I mean? So...
and he's not bad on the mic either, so I don't see what's holding him back.
No.
His height?
Don't know. His height? I mean, I was gonna say, well, Shorty G, it's a thing. Is he really that small though?
I don't know. Maybe it's compared to the people around him. When we see him on TV, he looks shorter than maybe he really is. But this guy's he had title runs. He's had tag team titles. He's an ex-tag team champion. He had, I think, was the USA title that he had a little run with. So he's had these runs with, and they haven't gone bad. Okay, Shorty G was absolutely horrible, but that wasn't his fault.
No,
it was.
But he made it work for him, though.
Yeah,
he's 5'6", bro.
Oh shit! So he's fucking my height. Damn. I shouldn't have gave up on my dream. But man, he performs every time you ask of him to do it. He comes out and he does it. He seems like he's a good employee, because anything you give him, he just shuts up and he takes it. Whether it's Shorty G, whether it's Shush now, more of a comedic. Even though maybe he sees it as, listen, I'm on TV every week, so
that's it. And again, I would even put Chad Gable in the Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins category for me. You know what I mean? You can give them whatever you want They will
Oh yeah,
do
okay.
it,
In that
and
way,
they will
yeah.
make it work. You know what I mean? Yeah, like he's in that category for me. But yeah, this. But again, like also Ricochet is also in that category. Aside from talking on the mic, he's trash on the mic.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
that's what's holding him back
yeah.
technically. But I even doubt it. Even if he was good, he'd probably be in a Chad Gable scenario. Um, yeah, that's what's
And
that's kind
I
of
really like they're doing this more often, and I think it's a Triple H thing. Sometimes they let the match shine. So in this case, like it happened also in other matches previously, was they get rid of the people around the ring, right? So
well, yeah.
get rid
Thank
of the
God.
people around the ring and let these guys shine. Especially in this case when you have Gable and AJ having a match. No side distractions. You don't want that.
I'm so happy
Give
with
all
that.
the
OC wasn't
yeah.
out there. Otis wasn't out there. Good. Let's fucking go.
Let the
It
light
was
shine
great.
on these guys.
Let
Yeah,
the light shine on these guys, and it did, and it was fire.
and it did. Yep,
Yep.
completely agree. Um, Candice LeRae versus Io Sky. Man, we had some good wrestling on this Monday. That was also a great match.
I
I
think
know
I
they
missed
know
that
each
one,
other.
unfortunately.
I know they have their history from NXT, so they've worked together before. So maybe that's why they have a good chemistry together.
That's fair. Yeah.
But yeah, Candice LeRae and Io Sky, and Io Sky gets the win here. What I heard somebody talk about this on a podcast, and I completely agreed with him. At what point does Bailey get pissed off that her group mates keep on winning and she keeps on losing?
I think it's coming. I think it's coming. It's just I don't know when it does come though exactly. Um, I just don't know how they know how they're gonna do it. Maybe because I almost feel like they don't want them to become face, whether tag team or Bailey to become face, and one of them's gonna have to. So I almost feel like they're gonna maybe need to turn on Bailey. They'll stay heel, and Bailey is the one that turns face.
Yeah,
Because we also
because
haven't
eventually,
seen the hugger. I don't know if necessarily we'll go hugger style, but
I don't think you'll go hugger style because if that's
but I
something we
mean
missed
just
in
something
the
different.
that's something we missed in the breaking news. What's her name? The one that was very similar to the hugger. Her character was very similar to yes. What's her name? I don't want to miss her name.
Kylie Ray.
Kylie Ray. So now her name is Brianna Ray, and she did her debut on Main Event. So she has signed with WWE. So that's kind of a similar gimmick there. I don't see. Bailey
I'd say
going back to
Kylie Ray
that.
is better than Bailey. I'd say I didn't watch her main event. I definitely want to. I am a big fan of Kylie Ray. I loved her in AEW. Just the moment that I freaking saw her and when she went in that ring, I think she was Smiley Kylie Ray then. She's had some issues with. She's had some mental issues. In the last little while, past few years. She went back to the indie scenes. I think she might have also had addiction issues as well.
Yeah, she's 1 year sober now.
1 year sober. Perfect. It's great to hear. I'm hoping the best for her because I think she's phenomenal in the ring. I really like her style. And she is completely just energetic and filled with fun. From what I remember, I haven't seen her in a hot minute. So from what I remember with the stuff that she did, and I kudos to her, and I hope everything does work out. I hope it doesn't lead her to a bad way. I hope she doesn't go, any kind of way near a Riddle route, if you will. But yeah, I'm here's to hoping. I gotta find that did that main event match happen already technically?
Well,
No.
it was taped on Monday. So
fuck.
usually,
Okay, so I have to wait Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. Saturday during the day, or sometimes it gives before SmackDown on 360 on Sportsnet on Friday.
Oh shit! I think it's after
Sometimes it gives
SmackDown actually.
Or after SmackDown, one or the other.
Yeah.
I know for Saturday for sure it plays when they play them all in the row there. But if I'm not mistaken, Friday it plays either before or SmackDown on 360.
Okay.
So yeah, so
fair enough.
I definitely agree that Brianna Ray now is better at that gimmick, at that hugger gimmick than Bailey was. So I definitely believe that it's gonna be Sky and Dakota here finally getting fed up and saying, "Listen, us, we keep on winning and you keep on losing. We're carrying this team over here." So I definitely agree with
clearly
you.
we don't
Seeing them
need you.
Yeah. So yeah, that was that. How about again Kevin Owens in that backstage segment with Elias? Tom, you think I don't remember? You think I don't know what you did? It was fucking gold.
No, and especially with what he did at the end, he helped him out, but then he stunned him anyways.
And he stunned him anyways,
well, fuck you. He's just neutral. He's in that category with Seth Rollins. They can do whatever the fuck that they want, good or face, good or heel. It doesn't matter. They're just in the middle. They have their Austin territory. You know what I mean?
He walks the line, and sometimes he crosses it one side, sometimes he crosses it another, but it never affects. It never affects the stories. And he just does it perfectly. So wow. And it was kind of funny because Elias is like kind of asking him, to come help, and he's like, "What are you doing? You're asking me for help?
What are you
like,
doing? That was my brother."
It was really, really well done.
Yeah, it was a good Raw. This Raw, I enjoyed it.
Yep. Asuka versus Rhea, also a good match. It fit the storyline what they wanted here. They want to put Rhea over, and they want to continue this downfall for Asuka, so it worked both ways. And then we had the main event with Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins. That was a good match until that clusterfuck in the end. The bit was a bit of a downer for me.
Which clusterfuck?
Well, I mean the whole hitting the ref and then hitting.
Yeah, but that was
Adam
after
Pearce.
the match, no?
Yes, it was. It was after the match,
Okay.
but I mean the finish. I didn't mean the finish to the match. I mean the finish to the
of
show.
Raw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the match itself was good.
Yeah,
I
it
really
seems
enjoyed-
like, and they work well together, but it seems like every time they get into the ring, they get better against each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You see, and that makes sense. Within time, practice makes perfect. You regain more chemistry with each other and all that. Yeah, but I thought that was a great match to end Raw. Not necessarily a great way to end Raw with the whole Lashley bull bananas, especially then he goes on to like video and they're like, "Oh, Lashley's not fired."
Yeah, it was.
So
That
what
him
the
that he
fuck was the point?
overreacted. Yeah. So
Right.
what was the point? Because even Lashley looked surprised, unless his acting really got better. Like Bobby Lashley legitimately looked surprised when Pierce fired him. So I don't know if he's been.
I
Taking
think
acting
Pierce
classes.
misspoke or something though. At the same time, I don't necessarily know if he was supposed to say you were fired, because he also I feel like he dropped the F-bomb or something, or he said you're a piece of shit or something. So I think he was just really out of character, and he forgot his lines. So I think Lashley's what was like legitimate. He's like, what? You know?
It could be.
Or else why would
forgot his
you-
line and he went off the hook?
Yeah, and or else why would you fucking the next day say, "Oh no, Lashley's not fired"?
Yeah,
You know,
put out a
But-
video saying he wasn't fired. But yeah,
That's
it
it.
was a bit weird because when I saw that, I'm like, okay, they're gonna go this route. And then I saw his face. I'm like, okay, did something happen here, or did he take acting classes? And then bang, I see on Twitter the video of him.
Did
in his
Lashley
office.
pull a riddle?
Yeah, or something went off script there, or something.
Sorry,
But I
Riddle.
really liked.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, I really liked the match finish though. The spear turned. I don't think they could have done that if it was their first match together. But I guess having the confidence, like you were saying, of having these matches these last few weeks together, having more confidence in each other, pulling the spear, reversing the spear into a pedigree was a pretty
Oh my
nice,
God,
nice way to
fire.
finish
Yeah.
it there. Yeah.
I think they've done that before, though.
Oh, they've done it. Okay.
I feel like the
didn't-
triple threat. He's also done that with Lashley, if I'm not mistaken.
Or maybe he.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I think now I'm remembering more. I think he tried it, but he never delivered the pedigree. Yes, he
Maybe.
put it
Okay,
into the legs, but then he got interfered or something. Yeah, says now you're reminding me more of that. Yeah. So yeah, it was a good match to finish. Other than the confusion.
Great Raw. I really don't mind that Raw. That Raw was it told a lot of things, told a lot of stories. Ziggler also saying that Austin Theory is a cocky prick and he doesn't deserve to be champion is quite
The
hilarious
show-off saying that,
considering
yeah.
he's the show off.
Some self-awareness there.
Sure. Self-awareness, buddy.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. Like, that felt flat for me. Like, are you serious? Like, nobody told you, buddy, your name is the show off. Like,
Yeah. Where do you think he learned it from, Ziggler?
Yeah. No, because I like the fact of putting Dolph against Ziggler. I think you could have some great matches.
I mean, that both names do go together. Yeah.
Yeah. Putting Dolph
that
against
is his name.
Against Theory.
That's the same thing Vince said. What are we gonna call you, Dolph and the Ziggler? Oh, well, let's put them together. Dolph Ziggler. Yeah. That's some good S word.
I think it works good. Yeah, it works good. He's the perfect guy to put Theory over in a set of matches, in a combination of matches. So I think I'm okay with that. And I think Ziggler, after all these years, because it's been over a decade, right? He's been with WWE.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I think he's just content with being who he is. I thought he was. He got. I thought he had a clause in his contract, in his last contract that he signed, that he was gonna at least have one more run as world champion, and technically he did in NXT.
True.
So I guess that's it, and he's content with making a few between $1 and $2 million a year, and he could do his comedy on the side, and he seems like he's happy. So
2004.
Wow. You see, so 16,
almost
16,
20
years. Yeah, almost 20 years. 19 years. Yeah. Wow. And he hasn't aged that much. This guy is wow, 19 years.
I mean, I'm sure he takes good care of his stuff, but he does have a lot of whatever Botox or whatever, and he does
for
take
the face,
care,
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
But no, he
still
looks good. Still looks good.
He could definitely still go in the ring, man. He can.
He's
still one of the best sellers out there. Definitely, and he's a perfect person to put something.
Well, he's only 39, huh?
Oh, you see. So 39.
Well,
is,
not only. It's still, I guess, a little.
It's starting. But in wrestling, you could still have a good 5-6 years of good wrestling there, guaranteed. Like Jericho at 45 was still top. Now at 50, you're starting to see a bit of a decline, but at 45, he was still top. So there's still time there for Ziggler. But definitely, he's the person to put in some bangers with Theory if that's what you want to put Theory over. Ziggler's the perfect person.
Give me a best of 7 on that. I'm down.
Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't think about that, but yeah. And we had finished the rundown with Dynamite last night. You start off the show with the best out of 7, and it was the fourth game, match 4. It was match 4 of the best out of 7. I've absolutely no problem with this match.
I caught half of it. I'm so pissed. I got to rewatch it.
They even pulled off some new moves that they hadn't pulled off in the 13,000 times they faced each other, and I know how that must be hard when you face each other so many times. To pull some innovative spots here. I like also the fact that they used the hammer again, with Phoenix hesitating to cover him after they used the hammer. So I like that story, that little side story going on, continuing also. And obviously, so the next match, which is match number 5, with Death Triangle leading 3-1. So expect a sports comeback, the 3-1 comeback.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure they're going to come.
This is going to 7.
Yeah, this is going to 7. And the next one is an ODQ because Kenny Omega says apparently he's fed up of playing by Death Triangle's rules, so he rather have no rules at all. Yep. Exactly. So I think the next match should take it to the next level. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I trust it.
Well, and then I think they mentioned also the final match, if it gets there, was going to be a ladder match.
Yeah, they said it later on in the show, but it was a bit weird because I almost didn't catch it. I only caught the end of it when I heard Excalibur say Escalada de la Muerte, and then I had to rewind a bit to go, okay, what is he talking about? And then, just confirmed, Tony Khan has made it official that if it goes to 7, it will the last match will be a ladder match. So, so definitely we're going to get to see that ladder match. And I'm pretty sure the Elite are gonna take this 4-3 with a 3-1 comeback from them. But hey, give me. I thought maybe at the beginning of all this, 7 matches is gonna be a lot.
It's
but
a lot.
These guys keep,
but it's still fun. It's still fun.
It's still fun. And if they keep outdoing themselves every match, I don't know how, when, what they're gonna do. But if they keep doing it, there's nothing I can say about it. These guys just they're money. They're money. Put them to finish a show. Put them to start a show. Mm-hmm. You'll always be okay. What was after that? Because I don't have notes for Dynamite.
Oh shit! Okay, should have told me.
I completely forgot. I was even gonna forget about Dynamite right when I remembered. Oh shit, we didn't talk about Dynamite. But yeah.
Well, I know we did have the House of Black, but I don't know if that was next. Technically,
yes, the House of Black was there, which pretty quick finish there.
Yeah, pretty quick finish with that. Well, this is not in order, bastards.
I think I'll get it here.
Chris Jericho's shocking upset wasn't the next match either.
I got it here in order. Here we go. So the next one was Jeff Jarrett and company attacked the Acclaimed. And then you had so the Acclaim comes out. They have the bit of their a bit of their freestyle or rap there, and then the guys Davari, what's his name, Davari, and the basketball player and Jeff Jarrett come and attack them from behind.
Zing.
And then you had Jungle Boy versus Brian Cage. Okay match.
Yeah, no, that was good. I enjoyed that match actually. They're really pushing Jungle Boy, I feel. A lot harder now, and I'm down. Jungle Boy is great in the ring. His talking is getting a little bit better. He's getting more comfortable with the talking too. So I'm excited for Jungle Boy's future for sure.
I like the way he called out. He said, "I beat Luchasaurus, then I beat Brian Cage, and then, and then he calls out Big Bill.
Now I'm gonna beat you, Big Bill, Big Bill, Big Bill."
They come out and they beat him up, but he gets the save from everybody. Seemed surprised, including Taz. He gets the save from Hook here at the end. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
a tag match soon.
I guess so. Yeah, we'll be seeing a tag match, but it's because that group has been interfering in Hook's business. No.
Oh, it's true.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the reason too.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I'm down. Hook and Jungle Boy might be fun as a tag team. And they really got to start doing something else with Hook, though. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's still young.
Like, okay,
I get it.
The FTW title's out of the picture. Okay, that's good. That's good because that wasn't helping anybody here.
Well, is it out of the picture? Like they threw it out?
Well, no, he just hasn't been showing up with it recently. I don't know if the next when it's a match, if he'll come out with it, but they don't talk about it no more. They don't mention he's the FTW champion.
Nope. He didn't come out with it this time around.
He didn't come out with it, so I think they're just moving on because even when you have a title and the commentator keeps on saying it's not recognized by our company, so why
the fuck do you have it?
Yeah,
exactly.
So that was that. Then you had the House of Black against the Factory. Was quick business here. They beat up the other two guys while Malachi is sitting in the corner, sitting down in the Indian style. The other guys just beat up the rest of the Factory, and then they ring the bell, and Malachi gives him that sidekick. Well, no, that's not really a sidekick. It's a
roundhouse kick.
Roundhouse kick. Thank you. Roundhouse kick. So they give him the roundhouse kick, and knocks him out, and bang, it was over for QT Marshall. There,
only thing there to mention is Julie Hart spat in
Nick Camarado's face. Yes,
Nick Camarado's face, and I am down for Nick Camarado to be part of House of Black. I think Nick Camarado needs to get out of the Nightmare Factory there, because Nick Camarado, I always felt was
he looks good.
He looks good. He looks built. He's great in the ring too. He's the superstar out of the Nightmare Factory or the Factory. I don't know if necessarily him being with House of Black would improve, but I mean, I would love to see him go against Brody King or even Malachi Black. If he gets into House of Black and then does something, an inner feud in there at some point, I'd be cool because Nick Camarado is money, I feel. So let's go.
I agree. Nick Camarado feels like he's on another level than the Jobber Factory there. So
yeah.
I think you're completely right here. Nick needs a new beginning, and I think this mist in his face is a sign of that. Maybe not right away. Mm-hmm. Have a match with Brody. Have a sick banger with Brody, and eventually do the switch and join the House of Black. And now the House of Black will be a real faction that nobody wants to fuck with. If you add Nick Camarado to that to them, like
forget about
it. Even that move that Buddy Matthews or Murphy, I forget what it's Matthews in the
Matthews.
That move he did, kind of like a screwdriver suplex, but onto the other guy in the table. I thought that was like, wow.
That was so weird.
It was so weird. Like he dropped him on his head on top of the other guy. I'm like, what? Yeah, did you kill him? That's me too. I was like, oh fuck, did he break his neck or something? But that was very visual. Like it stayed in my mind there. That spot. What was next? There was the Chris Jericho against Action Andretti that we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. Can't wait to see more from Action Andretti here. Maybe this whole story with Chris Jericho, because he seemed like he was pissed right after. He was breaking everything backstage before going into. So maybe we haven't seen the last of these two in the storyline wise. And I'm okay. Jericho is probably going to want, I mean, storyline wise, he's probably going to want that win back, that W back from Action Andretti. So
I think he's also going to get pissed at JAS, though. I think it's going to be an implode into JAS. I feel like there might be maybe something there. It seems like Jericho really loves this Andrade character, though. So, I mean, maybe Jericho is kind of taking him under his wing, and maybe he'll just keep having matches with him, too. Or maybe he'll be like, you know what? You think you can? I wasn't ready for you, but I don't know. He'll probably do something, and maybe he'll get Andretti to face all the rest of JAS. You know what I mean? You know what? Now you're gonna go after Sammy. He's gonna beat Sammy. Now you're gonna go after Garcia. He's gonna beat Garcia. Now you go after Hager. He'll beat Hager. You know what I mean? Like, if he's really excited about this guy, like. He mentioned he is, and he keeps retweeting his stuff. Then make him beat all of your team and let him reach new heights. You know, that would certainly cement his position in the company. And
if you go for 3-4 weeks in a row and you're putting out bangers against Jericho, against Garcia, and against Sammy, that's a very good first impression and start to your career in AEW there. So I like that. You see it that maybe has something to do with also the division that's happening again when we thought that storyline was over, but now Chris Jericho has ordered Daniel Garcia to shadow Sammy everywhere he goes and listen and to do everything Sammy tells him to do. So Sammy puts his arm around him, and Daniel Garcia does not look happy.
It's like, what the fuck, right?
Yeah. So are we gonna finally see the Daniel Garcia face turn?
Well, I mean, I guess so. Now that he's not champion, I think he didn't mind doing it because he wanted to get the title. Since he had lost the title, I don't think anyone from ROH, anyone from JAS kind of helped him.
No,
I think.
Just
Menard
yes. Wait, Daddy Magic and Angelo Parker.
Right.
Is it Daddy Magic or Magic Hands or whatever? It's the Matt Menard and Angelo Parker came and tried to interfere, but got sidelined or got kicked out by the ref. I don't remember exactly the details, but then it ended up being just.
And then they kicked him out. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, I can see that, and I can see maybe Garcia and Yeah, dude, I think that's exactly how it might work. Andrade is going to go through that entire team. And when it comes to Sammy is going to end up losing due to Garcia indirectly. So it's going to create even more of a rift. And yeah, I think this is at least maybe this will last all the way up until like their next Wednesday pay-per-view. Revolution's a bit too far away. But yeah, they can easily do that. That would work.
I think that's a good way to bring one up and to also bring a closing to this whole Daniel Garcia story. So yeah, I could see that happening. Then we had Ruby Soho versus Ty Mello, with basically Soho getting her revenge on Mello for storyline breaking her nose.
Right.
It was basically just she needed the time off to go have that surgery, that nose job. So, which looks good. She looks
looks good.
She looks good. Ruby.
She looks less Quebecois. She's not Quebecois, but she looked Quebecois before. So.
Yeah. So yeah, it was an okay match. Nothing.
It's fine.
Nothing crazy. I would give it a 3.2 over 5.
It was
but
fine.
Nothing crazy. Yeah, it was okay. Fun.
I mean, yeah, Mello was good. Mello was good, though. I feel like Mello also keeps improving every time in the ring as well. She's also getting comfortable, so I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Anna Jay came and attacked Soho after the match. So I guess maybe that story also hasn't. Really hasn't been a closure yet, and that will be continuing also. And then we had our main event. We had a few. Maybe we had a promo from each before the main event. So MJF had a promo backstage. Starks had a promo backstage. MJF kind of took, even though last week we could say that Starks had the up on MJF
promo. Yeah.
Promo wise, this week maybe MJF had the up hand. He kind of was mocking Starks there a bit, with saying every time you went off script or whatever, and then every time you would get lost in your thoughts, you would go like, "Give me a break," and he does the pose, the Ricky Starks pose. So I think he was good there. The match itself, I have no complaints whatsoever about the match itself. Like there's no way around it. You weren't gonna give the title to Starks here, so
I thought it would be a DQ finish. I thought it was going to be a DQ finish in the sense where at least he would win the Diamond Ring, but not win the title. But no, they didn't go that route. They made MJF look like a heel because I think he won with a kick to the nuts and then pinned him, right?
Yep, because he put the ref in front of him, like he used the ref as a shield, and then when Ricky moved the ref, then bang, he kicked him in the balls and he pinned him with a cover up, a quick roll pin, like roll up, cover up,
schoolboy.
So the match was okay. Now we finally.
No, I mean the match was good. And MJF, dude can wrestle, getting better. He's getting better. He looks more of a. I mean, there's been matches, but you can tell he's improved. He's improved the ring. He's got the in-ring psychology down like it's nobody's business. He obviously does the heel character amazing. He knows how to throw popcorn back to the fans when they throw popcorn at him. That was perfect. Did you see that? That was awesome.
Yeah.
When they went out,
even the hat. And then he took the hat of the guy and he just threw
the hat too, and he just.
And then the guy was gonna like. Then you saw the security guys like, shut up and just stay there. Like, don't move.
Yeah. Don't move.
Yeah, because the guy was like, he was pissed. And he took that. He's like, whoa. And then the security guy is like, no.
I'll get you your fucking hat. He's going to throw it back.
Stay put.
We'll fucking get it for you. Stay put.
But we know we know who the next opponent's going to be. Oh, that's something else from the Blackpool when their segment backstage, their promo backstage, prompting putting over themselves for winning at Final Battle. Where was Brian Danielson? Is he still part of the Blackpool Combat Club?
This is true.
Because it was only them three, with Mox being the leader here and having speaking on the mic. I didn't see that. Now it's 2 weeks in a row now that First of all, in the ring when they showed the William Regal video package, he wasn't there, and now with this backstage segment, he wasn't there. So I know they want to concentrate maybe with him with the MJF program now going for the title,
Right.
but I don't know.
But
I think
why
maybe
wouldn't
they should
you have
mention
needed?
something. Yeah.
Yeah, especially, it would help. It would help with the fact that John Moxley literally just lost to MJF as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, bringing that up
Yeah.
would make sense too
Would make
with the
sense in the
Combat
story.
Club. Hey, I can kind of show you, you know what I mean? Like, could help. And then the last time we saw Brian was when Brian stopped Moxley from hitting Regal, right?
Exactly.
That was
Yep.
the last time Brian was there. So I guess, yeah, they're just trying to shy it away. And I kind of like how they do that. They don't make it into a storyline. They kind of just say, hey, no, they're just kind of not with them anymore. You don't really need to necessarily explain it just because, shit happens.
Well, maybe you don't need to explain it to a certain point, but you definitely need to acknowledge it. Like if we see it, the fans are seeing it also. Like
Yeah.
just have Excalibur say, Brian right now wants to concentrate on the
But you don't need to.
AEW World. No,
You don't need. I mean, not in this case. Sometimes there's certain moments where you do need to, but it also makes it more real. I feel when they don't. They don't spoon us. This is gonna sound wrong. They don't feed us the entire storyline. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
don't necessarily need it in this. You're observing for yourself. Oh, okay. Brian isn't there. Oh, Brian came out to MJF. None of the combat club was there either. What's got, you know what I mean? So I think it adds a certain level of suspense without saying anything to it as well. Well, what's going on with that? It's an unwritten suspense thing that's happening behind the scenes. I don't know. I like it. I'm weird, maybe.
I guess it's a mystery. You leave it to people's imagination.
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
That's
it.
And then eventually, I'm sure eventually it will be brought up. Because Mox kind of called out, Paige also. There was a segment with Paige, which also I found that good, saying like he didn't remember his that
was great.
His daughter's name for a whole hour.
Yeah.
So
that was fuego.
So you took me to hell is what he says. I think you took me to hell, and if this Friday or whatever he says you want to take me to hell again, well, this time I'll be bringing you with me.
Right.
So I enjoyed that with Evil Uno behind him, because we kind of have seen in the past few weeks like Dark Order kind of disappearing slowly.
Right.
So there's that storyline also. So I guess down the line we'll get more of a concrete idea of what happened, or maybe we'll have a face-to-face with Brian and Mox eventually. That will maybe then they'll put it into that storyline and they'll explain it more and further.
And at this rate it's that's what's happening too, right? It's going to be Moxley and Combat Club versus Paige and Dark Order. So that's where they're going, and Brian's going to do the MJF thing. I think maybe also too one reason why they're not associating the two, because you would think that Moxley would be upset with Brian for going after the title, maybe, right? So maybe they don't want anyone assuming anything about that, and they kind of go do their own thing. Maybe.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we're going to do a feud with Dark Order and all that. So
there might be reason for Mox still being mad at Daniel for holding him back from beating up William Regal. So
or maybe that's the story they're indirectly telling as well.
Yeah, I guess they're okay. So good convincing there. You might have convinced me that it's not as bad as I thought it was. Not explaining.
No, and it's great. We don't need to be spoon-fed that information. Yeah. We see it. We're observant. For those who haven't, it's not a problem. It will eventually come out when they want to play that storyline. But other than that, there's little subtle hints everywhere that it's going to be a thing. So for those, and even if it does become nothing of it, you'll just be like, oh, okay, that was nothing. Oh, okay. But it's almost certainly something for sure.
Yeah, or like you say, down the line when they do explain it or it fits in another storyline, then you're gonna be like, oh, that's why, okay, and then everything makes sense, and then you'll be okay, and you just move on, I guess.
That's it.
That's the thing. So yeah, that was the rundown for this busy week in wrestling. Just a few reminders here. Next week we will be having our year in review edition of Wrestling Talk Now, where we will be running down our favorite storylines, our favorite wrestlers, our favorite matches. Also, our least favorite matches, promos, and all these storylines and all this stuff. So that should be a fun episode.
That's it. Well, maybe also, I think also maybe running down the top headlines of the wrestling world this year, might be kind of cool. We'll see, depending how much research we get done in time. We shall see. But definitely, we'll do best and worst for everything in wrestling this year. It's been a huge year, and crazy that 2023 is almost here. It's knocking on our door pretty much. So yeah, that's going to be a great time.
Yeah, and if you guys are down, you could join us. You could join us like you always do every week. And you could, when we're giving our ideas of our favorite stuff that happened during the year, you're more than welcome to give your ideas for each segment. We'll go down at the beginning of the podcast. We'll explain what we're gonna do. So maybe it can give you an idea, and you could jump in whenever you guys want. You guys are always more than welcome. So that will be next week for our Wrestling Talk Now. Next Wednesday should be around 6:00. Should be back on scheduled time next week for our year in review. Everybody tune in. And one last promo here, promotion to do for Rumble Bash. Just like to remind everybody that January 28th, we will be having a watch party for the Royal Rumble, my favorite pay-per-view of the year, at 9515 Hochelaga Street at the Portuguese Community Center. They have they're generous enough to lend us the hall for that day so we could bring our people, and we're going to be filming our podcast there before the Rumble, and then we'll be having hamburgers, hot dogs, whatever you guys want, a few beers while we watch Rumble. We'll probably even do the pool, so it makes it a bit exciting for us that will be watching. So everybody's invited for a Rumble Bash, January 18th at 5. Well, the pay-per-view's at 7, but we'll be there filming
28th?
starting at around the 20. I said 21st.
You said 18th.
Mistake, yeah. 18th. Oh my God. Sorry. Sorry. January 28th. Just to be clear, January 28th. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. So we'll be there around 5 o'clock. We'll be filming our podcast, and the Royal Rumble starts at 7. So everybody is welcome there. Also, just maybe throw us a little hi, saying, guys, I'm thinking about coming for the bash, so we have about an idea. So logistically, we could be as prepared as possible to have you guys there with us. So that's it. JLB, take us home.
And that's pretty much it. So long week in wrestling. Next week, as we mentioned, will be our year-end review, and should be a good one. So feel free to check us out next Thursday. Until then, you can follow us on all of our social medias on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Although there's like new thing that apparently no one should have TikTok. But we still have it for now, unless all of our stuff gets stolen from China. We'll see what happens. We're still there for now, but of course, all of that is WTN Wrestling Talk Now. But unless it's on Twitch, it's WTN _Wrestling Talk Now. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Follow only on social media. Unless it's the day of the bash, then feel free to follow us around. That's it's no problem. And then, yeah, so that is pretty much it. Thank you, Kid Crazy, for always coming in and coming through. It was always a pleasure talking some wrestling with you. And we'll do it all over again next week, where Big Red should be back. And we'll be back at it, talking some wrestling with you guys. So until next time, ciao for now.